All right, so let's start this broadcast with the big story that we are tracking on WION at this hour. And this, of course, is coming from the island nation of Sri Lanka. The parliament of the debt-ridden South Asian nation is all set to reconvene tomorrow. But there is more political trouble for the Gotabaya-led government. Now, ahead of that, WION has gathered from its sources that at least about 18 new cabinet members are likely to be sworn in by President Gotabaya-Rajapakse sometime later today at the Presidential House. And this has come just ahead of the proposed no-confidence motion that is set to be tabled by the opposition when the parliament resumes tomorrow. The reports also suggest that the group of 41 parliamentarians who decided to remain independent will be seated separately as a group. The decision was reached at a meeting attended by the leaders of the political parties representing those 41 members of the parliament. The PHU leader Udaya has said that this decision will be communicated in writing to the Speaker. Another political party, Ceylon Workers' Congress, has indicated that it will be abstaining from tomorrow's session. And party's General Secretary Jeevan Tondaman has stated that the roadmap has not been intimated to them by the opposition. In the face of the foreign exchange dearth, Colombo has turned to the International Monetary Fund for a loan. Finance Minister Ali Sabri is headed to Washington to hold talks with the global monetary body. The Sri Lankan delegation will be meeting with the IMF from the 19th of April, and the focus of the 5-day meeting will be to secure up to $4 billion in terms of loans. As of now, Sri Lanka is incapable of financing even the most essential of imports such as food, medicines and fuel because it simply hasn't got any money because of very poor financial management by the Gotabaya-Rajapakse government. Last week, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka had suspended foreign debt payments and it diverted the dwindling foreign reserves to importing essential items like food and medicines. Sri Lanka has also announced a 5-day share trading halt. The Colombo Stock Exchange officials have said that they are under pressure not to reopen because the shares could tank further. Meanwhile, the protesters on the streets are adamant. They are demanding that President Gotabaya-Rajapakse and his clan that has been at the helm of affairs in Sri Lanka needs to go immediately. The demonstrators have raged against the Sri Lankan government for weeks. People are extremely angry because of the very poor financial mismanagement of the government that has now resulted in a situation where the government has no money to import something as basic as food, fuel and medicines. People have been without power for several hours at a stretch every single day. Citizens have been camping outside the presidential secretariat for well over a week now, and they're demanding that Gotabaya-Rajapakse must go, and he should go immediately. And also our correspondent, Dasuni Athauda, has been tracking the story very closely for us from Colombo and has sent us this report. Listening.
Sri Lanka's political landscape continues to develop just as much as its worsening economic crisis, with Parliament set to convene after the New Year holidays tomorrow. The President's Media Division's internal sources said that a cabinet comprising of not more than 15 members will be appointed in the morning hours of today. Now, this comes ahead of a proposed no-confidence motion which is to be pushed in Parliament tomorrow by the opposition, which is led by opposition leader Sajith Premadasa. That's not all. The protests concerning the government and the citizens' dissent towards this government only continues to increase over the past few weeks, as many protests have now started up across the island with the main intention of showing their frustration towards the current administration. Stay with WION World is One for the very latest. Reporting from Colombo, I'm Dasuni Athauda.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.